Hey you guys, welcome. I am so excited to be here. This is one of my most favorite things to talk about. So if you are new, welcome. I am Dawn Marie. I help people start, grow, and thrive in their business while living their best balanced life. And part of that is by helping them simplify. Sometimes you might think like, what does this have to do with business? Or what does this have to do with anything really, like how much stuff I have? But I'm here to tell you that it makes a huge, huge difference. Actually, side story, my husband just told me the other day, he came in and he was like, watch this video. And I watched it and it was like this psychologist and I was kind of like, what's your point? And he goes, I understand you now. And it was basically him talking about how if we are cluttered in our space, it actually gives us anxiety. So, if you're one of those people that can't function well in like a cluttered environment, or like you have so much stuff or your dishes aren't done or whatever, and you can't think until that is accomplished or clean or put away, that is what he was talking about. So I'm here to tell you in a nutshell that if you feel any sort of like angst or anxiety, or you're not really sure what's going on with your life, start decluttering, and I can guarantee you that will help you. So again, welcome. This video will be available on the replay. I know a lot of you had said you couldn't make it this morning, which is totally fine. So if you're here on the replay, welcome to you as well. So I made myself some notes, you guys, because this is a topic I can talk on forever, and I don't want to take a ton of your time. So I'm just going to talk briefly about the overview of why it's a good idea to live with less, to simplify, declutter, that sort of thing, and give you just a few practical steps to get started, because I know a lot of us get super overwhelmed when we think about like where to even begin or what to do to start and so forth. So that is kind of my goal for this time, and I made myself notes so I will stay on task because a lot of you know I like to talk. So anyways, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start first with the why. Like, why is this even important? And again, simply stated, having clutter and stuff that doesn't matter in our lives, it distracts us from a bigger purpose. And that bigger purpose could be, your family or your work or things that matter to you, right? And so we're not just talking about remove your stuff because you'll feel better. That's part of it, but I'm talking about living a life a little more intentional, okay? We're going to be a little bit more intentional about the things that are in our home, the ways that we spend our money purchasing those things, in relation to how much we actually use them and all that kind of stuff. So don't think I'm preaching at you because that's not my goal. My goal is I need to remind myself of this as well, because I love to thrift shop. I don't love like shopping, but I love to find deals, and I have to remind myself that even though it's on sale, or even though I can get it for a good price at the thrift store, doesn't necessarily mean I need it, right? So this is just a passion that I have. I used to, many years ago, before I started my sign party business, before I started my mentoring business, I spoke at moms groups and places like that to teach people how to live with less. And why I did that, and my background and where I got started with that, is the fact that we traveled the country with my husband's job for about 5 years, and we moved 13 times in those 5 years across 5 states. And so we were constantly on the go. And the first time we moved, we knew they were going to be temporary temporary jobs. He was a power lineman, and so we would go to where they were putting up the power line, and when they were done with the line, we'd have to move to the next job. Typically, a lineman was on the road away from his family, but we had small children and I didn't want to be away from my husband, so we just moved with him, which was completely against the grain. But that's kind of how I do things, is not conventional. So here we were with a, let's see, I had not even a 2-year-old. He was like 18 months old. No. He was under 2. And then I had a 9-month-old, and I was pregnant with number 3. So that's how we were when we started. So we had 2 small kids, little, and I was pregnant. And I didn't want to be without my husband. And so we started traveling with him. And the first move that we made, we brought the entire house. We actually ended up selling our house after we started on the road, but we brought everything because, that's what you do when you move. You bring all your stuff. And we went from our house to this small apartment, and we lived there for a year. So that first move was the longest move that we had. And I thought it was okay to bring all of our stuff. Who wouldn't want to live with all their stuff? Well, what I found out was that the majority of the time we just lived out of the few boxes that I unpacked, and everything else stayed in their box, and I didn't use any of it. So then when it came to the next move, we brought less stuff, and we got rid of a lot of that I didn't use. And then the next move, we brought less stuff, and we had more kids and less stuff and more kids. And so by the end, we would literally just pack my van that was just like just a normal size van, and I had 5 car seats, and we had, by the time we were done, we had 5 kids under 7. And so we had 5 car seats, 2 of us in the front, and then whatever I could fit in the van, that's what we took. And so by the end, we didn't have any furniture. We didn't have any non-essentials, because we lived in places like a hotel room. We lived in a hotel room in Chicago for 5 months. 5 months with 5 kids under 7. We lived in a camper in the state of Virginia. That was when we had 4 kids under 4 for 9 months. And so we were living in small spaces. And so I couldn't even have that much stuff, right? The choice wasn't even there. And you think about if you move into a camper, it has everything that you need anyways, right? It has the bed, it has the lamps. All we had was clothes and some dishes, which even that was very limited. But what I learned through all that was that I didn't need hardly any of that stuff that I thought I did. Now, I want to emphasize the fact that I am not talking about that you have to get rid of everything that you own. I don't want you to think I'm talking about the minimalism where you see where there's nothing on the walls and it's this sterile environment. That is not what I'm referring to, okay? I'm referring to only having the things, and maybe you want to write this down when you're going through your stuff, only have the things that you use, that you need, and that you love, okay? So if you have that piece of decor that you absolutely love, but it's not really serving a purpose, but you love it, then keep it. I'm not saying that you have to have this cold, sterile environment that nobody feels welcome in, okay? It's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the stuff that you constantly trip over, that you're constantly picking up, that you're shoving in a closet, and I will remind you, shoving it in a closet doesn't equal you using it more, okay? So those things that are in your storage room for years, the things that you, again, just constantly have to pick up, have to tell the kids, put that away, put it away, put it away. I'm here to challenge you to say, do you really need it? Think about that. Okay, back on my notes because I'm already feeling my brain starting to get sidetracked with all the things that I want to say. So I'm going to refer to my notes because, again, I'm not going to be leaving you here all day. Okay, so one quick side note first is that when we stop spending money on junk that we don't need or don't use or don't love, a funny thing happens is that we have more money to spend on things that do matter or that we do love or that we do need. So just kind of tuck that away. Just kind of keep that in mind. And budgeting and finances and business finances and all that is another kind of passion of mine, but I'm not going to get on that today. But just kind of think about that. If we quit spending money on crap that we don't need, we're going to have more money. Like, just kind of common sense. Okay. But so that is my kind of backstory. That's why I started getting passionate about living with us and not having stuff that doesn't serve a purpose for your life. Okay. And yes, you cannot tell me that, oh, I have kids, I can't do this, or I have a big family, I can't do this, because those of you who don't know me, I have 7 children. They're all still living with us. We have 18 down to 8. So we had 7 kids in 10 years. And this has been my mantra for the last, I would say probably 14-ish years. So if I can do it with my family size, and again, I am not perfect. We have more stuff than I want, but it's a very good thing to keep in mind as you're going forward, or if it is a area that you're having difficulty with because you just feel your brain is like too chaotic with all the stuff that you have in your house. I'm here to tell you there is hope, and I will be here to help you with that. So again, biggest purpose, it distracts us from important things, okay? That could be people, that could be relationships, using your gifts and talents to bless others because you're so busy trying to pick up your junk. Work, providing for your family, fellowshipping with others, hospitality. Who wants to have people over when your house is a complete disaster? Or if anybody was like me and got anxiety when someone says they're going to stop by quick, or you hear the doorbell ring and you're like, oh my gosh, one, I hope it's not my mother-in-law because this place doesn't look nice. Or 2, like, quick kids shove everything under your beds and whatever. Like, there can be a solution for all of that. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Some other reasons that you might want to do it is just less cleaning. Like, you guys, I love to make things pretty. I love to make areas nice, but I don't love like the cleaning aspect of it. And what I have learned over the years is that if you have less stuff to clean, you can clean less. And it takes you way less time to pick it up, to clean it, and so forth. So like my house right now, again, there's 9 people that live here, and we can have it clean in like not that long. Even my one son, I have one son who, bless his heart, is our cleaner. Like, he's the one that we go to if we just need a good, like, clean up the house. He does it, and he does it fast, and he does it well, and it doesn't take him that long. I mean, so if you have less stuff to pick up, there's less stuff to pick up. So it doesn't take you that long. So anyways, that was a big thing for me because I don't want to spend my time cleaning, between the kids and, being a wife and a household and business and work and all that. Like, who wants to spend all their time cleaning? So, so you have less time cleaning, you have more time to do other things. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's how you use your time that that is important. So good morning, Holly. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so your house, think of it this way too. Your house should be like a haven, a place of rest for you and your family to recharge after a long day. And I think a lot of us could use help in that area. Again, me included, I am not perfect. Think of your entryway. Just like close your eyes for a second and think of you walking into your home. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Is it like frustration because there's shoes everywhere and nobody knows how to hang up their coats and nobody puts their backpacks away and there's just stuff everywhere, mail is piled up, and it's just kind of chaotic. I want you to be able to envision that walking in and you have this serene environment. Again, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm not talking about that sterile environment. But if you have less things, you're going to have an easier time putting things away where they belong, not just, shoving them aside because you just need to get through that moment. Okay, so a lot of times we can declutter to de-stress. And how many of us would like to de-stress every once in a while? That would be fantastic. So when you have clutter, just like I referred to at the beginning, clutter can make you anxious. It literally can give you anxiety, and you might not even have that connection yet where you just feel anxious and you're not really sure why. Try to declutter and get rid of things and even rearrange some things. It can really help your brain. There's an actual connection between having stuff and that chaos that it looks like, and being able to relax and kind of de-stress. So those two really have a big connection. When we have too many choices, there's studies been done with kids and toys, and how if a child goes into an environment with toys everywhere, too many options, they actually are way too overstimulated to make a decision and to just kind of sit and play or use their imagination because there's too many things going on. So I'm going to get to toys in a second because a lot of us have kids, and a lot of us, that's one of the biggest questions I get is what do I do with the toys? And so I'll get to that in a second. But if you just know that that's how our brain works, when we have too many options, we can just kind of shut down. Just kind of think about that. Okay, so what do we actually use versus, I'm going to touch on money again in this point, versus the money that we actually spent on it. So I'm going to use a bigger example just to make the connection. So again, how much we actually use the item versus how much we spent on it. And then my other point is going to be how much we use the item and the space that it takes up. Okay, so the money side. So for example, let's say you buy a boat and you live in a state that is cold for 9 months out of the year, like I did. I'm originally from Minnesota. You can only use your boat for a few months out of the year. And so the price that you spent on the boat versus the amount of time that you're going to actually use the item versus how much it cost to store, how much it costs to run, all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that you can kind of keep in mind when you're thinking about is it worth it? Is that how much you use it versus how much you spent on it and how much you have to keep spending in order to have that item. And then in a smaller scale, I'm going to use the how much space it takes up, which the boat could also be an example of that because you have to store it somewhere. So either that's at your place or you have to rent a storage facility, and that cost can add up and so forth. But let's take a look at something smaller, like a coffee pot. Okay, let's say you have a coffee pot and you only use it when company comes over because you're not a coffee drinker. So this coffee pot takes up space on your counter, or it takes up space in your cabinet or in your closet or whatever. And is the value worth it to you to have that space taken up versus how much you actually use it? So that's kind of another question that you can think about as you're going through your things. And remember, keeping those three things in mind: do you use it? Do you need it? Do you love it? If you ask yourself those questions and the answer is no, just let it go. And I will give you a little tip and a trick on how we can easily let things go if we kind of feel nervous about getting rid of things. Because I know there's some of us that like to hang on to their stuff just in case. You know how much I hear that all the time. So if you're a person that thinks, oh, I should keep this just in case. I'm here to talk to you that is not a good reason to keep it. So, you guys, I hope my connection is okay. I keep saying it's going out. So what, I need to get back on track. Okay, so less stuff equals less cleaning, picking up, wondering where it went, and more space and time for things that matter. So let's talk about the how. Like, how are we going to do this? And I'm going to stick to my notes now because I don't want to go too over the time. So there's 3 areas that a lot of people need help with. And if you are a person that needs help in a specific area, please let me know and I will do my very best to help you, make a post about it, do another live, whatever. So I'm going to talk quickly about dishes, clothes, and toys because that seems to be kind of 3 main areas that people have trouble with all the time. Like there's always dishes, okay? So we're going to start with that. Dishes. I have a family of 9. And 5 out of the 7 kids homeschooled this year, and my husband and I both work at home. So we're here all the time, and my kids eat like that is their job. So dishes, how do you handle that? How do you feel like the dishes are finally done and it's like never ending, you know, it feels like it's never ending sometimes, right? Like there's always a sink full of dishes. The kitchen is always a mess. How do you get over that? And I'm here to tell you, it's kind of the same with everything. Are you ready? Have less dishes, okay? If you have less dishes to clean, you are going to have less dishes to clean. So get rid of a lot of your dishes, okay? This is what I did for my family. So I'm talking about, you know, there's many ways to go about this, and I'm not going to say that one is right and one is wrong. There's really no right or wrong way to do this, but I'm here to give you a practical step that you can take that has worked for me and implement it and see if it works for you too. And if it doesn't, no big deal, but at least you tried something. So I took away all of the dishes except 1 place setting per person. So that meant I have 9 plates, 9 bowls, 9 forks, 9 knives, 9 cups, like whatever. So, and I actually took it a step further and I labeled everybody's with their initial because we purposely named all of our kids in a different letter so it could be easily identifiable. And then my husband and I are different than the kids as well. So it was very easy to label, but 1 of each for everybody. And then guess what? After they use it, after you eat breakfast or after you eat lunch, you have to wash it in order to eat again. So if someone were to eat breakfast and throw their dishes in the sink, when they go to eat lunch, what are they going to use? They have to wash their dishes and use it without piling it up in the sink. So that might seem like, oh boy, nope, can't do that, not going to do that. That seems unreasonable. I want you to try it, like for a week. Just take all your dishes, put them in a tote, stick them in the garage, put them under your bed, whatever. Get them out of sight and in a place that the kids can't just go grab some more. And I want you to try it. You will probably be amazed at how there was no dishes piled up in your sink because you have to wash them in order to use them again. Okay, and then you can carry that over into like serving dishes and stuff like that. But for now, I just want to focus on like your main plates and utensils and stuff that you actually use every day. Limit the amount that you have. And I promise you, you will get some sort of relief from that. Okay, and not saying you have to keep it forever, but that might get you into a new routine of how you do things and it will get you thinking outside of the box. So this will eliminate, yes, that big pile of dishes. So, and then if you have like bigger appliances, let's say you have an Instant Pot. For those of you who know me, I'm a super big fan of the Instant Pot. And you guys, my hair is like, it's warm here when you have thick hair. Anyways, I I'm a huge fan of the Instant Pot. And so if you have the Instant Pot and let's say a rice maker, do you really need both? Instant Pot will cook rice. Or if you have a crock pot and an Instant Pot, do you really need both? That sort of thing. So if you have two of something that does the same thing, try getting rid of one and just using the other and seeing how that works for you. Okay, clothes. This is another fun one for me because a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that. Get rid of your clothes. If you have less clothes, especially with kids, oh my goodness, kids have way too many clothes. If you have less clothes to wash, then you have less laundry to do. It's just the way it works. I can almost guarantee you won't be doing any more laundry because you're still going to wash your clothes when you need them. But if your kids are anything like mine, especially if you have little girls or boys that get dirty a lot, is that they change their outfits like 15 times a day. And then those all get shoved in the dirty clothes basket or whatever, or they're picking up their room and they don't even care if it's clean or not. They just throw it in the dirty clothes basket and then you got a load of laundry to do again. So try limiting their clothes. I think that's the biggest question I get from people when they hear I have a big family. They're like, oh my gosh, you must do laundry all the time. And honestly, you guys, I don't. I also have taught my kids to all do their own laundry. So all 7 of them do their own laundry, down to my 7, almost 8-year-old girl. They all do their own laundry and even their sheets. Like my teenage boys, my first 3 are boys. I have an 18-year-old boy, a 17-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy. They wash their sheets, they do their beddings, they do their towels, they do their clothes, just because that's the way that it's always been since from the time they could run the washer. So they wash their clothes about once a week. And then I do the same. When my basket gets full, I wash my clothes, but I'm only responsible for mine and then some like random, like dish rags and stuff like that. But I'm never washing clothes ever. So limit what you have and teach your kids to do their own. So those are like my 2 biggest like big family tips, or actually just tips in general, is have less clothes and teach your kids to do their own laundry. So that was kind of a side note. Back to actually how you go through your clothes. There's a few different things that you can think of. The ones that I do is when I'm going through my clothes, if I were to buy that item today, again, would I actually purchase it? You know those things that you buy that you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And then you wear it a few times and then you just kind of hate it. Or you took a really bad picture in it, and so every time you look at that outfit, you think of that picture, and then you don't want to wear that outfit. If that happens, just get rid of it. That's totally fine. It's time to let it go. So ask yourself, would I buy this again today if I were out shopping? And if the answer is no, then it's time to get rid of it. Obviously, the things that don't fit, that you're hoping to get back into one day, because you added a few pounds, just get rid of it. It's okay. Just let it go. You can always buy more clothes again someday. Just let it go. If it doesn't fit right, we all know those outfits that we try on and then we change our mind and we take it off. And then the next time we try it on and we take it off. And so if it doesn't fit right, we don't feel good in it, time to get rid of it. One thing I do, so then this is when you have your items kind of pared down to what you think you wear often and what you love, go ahead and flip all the hangers around. You may have heard this somewhere else. I do this. If I were to take a picture of my closet right now, you'd see half of my hangers kind of one way and half the other, because when I do that, let's say the beginning of the month, you don't have to do this all the time, but every once in a while, just turn all your hangers backwards. So you hang it up on the rack with the hangers backwards. And then once you wear an item, wash it, dry it, whatever, when it's time to put it back in, you turn the hanger around and hang it the right way. So then after a few months, or however long a time you want, maybe it's by season, or maybe it's, every 3 months, you kind of look at your clothes, and the hangers that are still backwards are the ones that you know you didn't wear. So those are the ones that you focus on, whether you really want to keep it or if it's time to let it go. Here's where my maybe box comes in. This is the what should I call it? This is the solution if you are very attached to your things and you don't want to get rid of it yet. This can work with kitchen stuff, with clothes, with toys. This is for anything in your house that you want to let go but are having a really hard time. Because again, I know we have memories with things, we have connections with things, we like our stuff. And so make yourself a maybe box. And the rules around the maybe box are this. So you're going to take a box and have it be one that you can donate. So even if you have to go to Home Depot or Walmart or something and get a moving box, and you're going to write maybe on it, and you're going to put a date. And I like to do the date like 3 months out. So 3 months from that date, you're going to write that 3 month out date. So if it's July 1st, you're going to write August, September, October 1st on the box. Everything that you come across that you want to get rid of, but there's a little part of you that's saying, I'm not ready to let that go yet because what if I need it again? Put it in that box, okay? Then, when you're done going through your stuff, you're going to take that maybe box and you're going to put it somewhere out of sight. In the garage, downstairs in the basement, in the utility room, somewhere where you don't see it often, but you could still get to it. And if during that 3 month time you realize, hey, where did that item go? I actually need it. Oh, it's in the maybe box. I can go grab it. If you don't need it, if you don't think of that, and the 3 months comes, put an alarm in your phone, otherwise you might forget about that box altogether. Put a little alarm in your phone for that 3 month out. And when that time comes, you're going to take the box, and this is important, you are going to not open it. Don't open the box. Don't sift through there. Don't open the box. Trust me, don't open the box. You're just going to take it on that 3 month date and donate it. Just totally donate it. Don't open the box and donate it and start another maybe box. I can 1000% guarantee you, you will not remember what is in that box. Meaning, it's not really that important to you and you didn't need it. You don't use it, you don't need it, you don't love it because you didn't think of it. So, but you have the assurance, you have the reassurance that if you did need that item, it is there for you, okay? I saw this quote one time that said, think of your local thrift store as a storage facility with a small pay-per-use fee. Meaning, let's say I have a serving spoon that I've never used, but I'm keeping around because what if I have that big party that one time and I need this really big serving spoon for my big pasta salad that I'm going to make. Okay, so that's why you're keeping it, because what if someday that you're going to use it? Well, let's say you let that go because you're not needing it right now. You let it go and you donate it to the thrift store. And then in 6 months you have that party and you're like, dang it, now I could have used that spoon. Think of the thrift store as a storage facility with a small pay-per-use fee. So go down to the thrift store, buy a big serving spoon, and use it, okay? The few dollars that you're going to spend on that spoon is going to be worth not having that in your house for forever, okay? So the maybe box. I was like, how did I get on spoons? The maybe box. So the maybe box can be a great thing for clothes, for toys, for anything in your household. So when you're going through your clothes, put it in the maybe box if you're just not sure. But the hangers and then that question of would I buy it today if I were purchasing it again is a great question to ask yourself. Okay, so toys. I'm just gonna go over this quickly. Don't have any. Just kidding. Well, not really just kidding, but limit your toys. Oh my gosh, you guys, We have so much stuff for our kids these days. No wonder why they can't focus. They are like in complete chaos most of the time in their mind when they walk into a room or they go into their toy room and they can't even see the floor or whatever. Is they have too much, there's too many choices. And a lot of those choices, have bells and whistles and noise and whatever, and they can't use their imagination. So, and then they get bored super easily because they can't process it. They don't even know where to begin. Kind of how you feel like, how do I even begin with the chaos in my home and organizing and decluttering and like, where do you even start? That's what kids feel like when they're overwhelmed with the amount of toys that they have. So eliminate, take them away. Again, put them in a box. And if you're like, oh, I love all their toys, they just have way too many, then put them in a box and rotate them every week or every month. They will feel like and act like it is Christmas every single time. They will be focused on those few toys. They will use their imagination. They will play better with others. You guys, this is like proven research. Scientifical, did I just make up a word? So this has been proven. There is studies out on how it affects children. So we think like, oh, give them more things the better. And that is not the case at all. So remove everything besides like 5 toys in their toy room, in their room, whatever, and put it away. And start that way. Start rotating the toys out. Be honest with yourself about, do they actually play with that thing? Maybe you liked it, right? You were like, oh my gosh, they're going to love this. And then you show it to them or you give it to them and they're like, eh. Like, then don't keep it around. Bless somebody else with it. Sell it to the local consignment store and get a few dollars back for it. One other thing, my brain just thought of something, is do not keep anything because you spent X amount of dollars on it. Right? We all have like those pair of shoes that we're like, they're so uncomfortable and I hate wearing them because they hurt my feet, but I spent so much money on them, so I have to keep them. No, the money's already spent. You already made a bad decision before. The money's already spent. So don't let that keep you from getting rid of that item, okay? Either sell it. There's so many ways that you could sell it. Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, a local consignment store, or bless somebody else with it. I just found, like 2 weeks ago, this awesome free group. It's called Gifting with Grace. And I think it's like an actual national, like an organization, I'm pretty sure, where it's a free Facebook group that's only like give to people. So you can post if you're searching for anything or if you are wanting anything or in need of anything, and then you can give things away. And even just yesterday, we've had this TV laying around that we're not using and some bigger pieces of decor, like I had this big canvas and this big sign that we're just not using. And I just put them up on that site. And within like a minute, I had 3 different people saying, I would love this. I would be so blessed if I could have this. And I would love this. And sometimes they tell a little story of why they want it. And then it's only for my town. So I just messaged them the address, and within a few minutes, everything was gone. So like, bless somebody else with it. We did that with our couch the other day, and I literally got a message from the people that we gave it to. It was a younger family, and they literally took the time to message me later and say, we have been so blessed with this couch. It's perfect for our space. Our family loves it. Thank you again. And you guys, if you haven't been able to give recently, or that's not a priority to you, I would really encourage you to start. Like that is one thing that is so fun for me because it blesses you back. If you give and you bless others, you're gonna feel great. So anyways, that was a side note. So back to toys. Keep only what they actually play with. Store away everything else or get rid of, and you will find yourself with calmer, happier children. It's crazy how it works. And when it's time to clean up the mess, guess what? It takes like 2 minutes. There is no mess because you don't have so much stuff. And I'm pretty sure I could like ask a poll, how many kids, especially when they're little, get something for Christmas, they take it out of the box, and what do they actually play with? The box. Like, they don't want the thing, they want the box. So like, give them a cardboard box and let them have at it. We make it so complicated. I feel like we think we have to give them all these things, and in reality, like, you don't. So, okay. So in conclusion, I hope that I gave you a few things to think about. Maybe you just think I'm crazy, and that's totally, totally okay. I have gone my entire adult life pretty much having people think I'm crazy because we do things a little bit non-conventional with our family size, and now, you know, with my husband being home, and, you know, we had home births. Who does that? You know, so it's okay if you think I'm crazy, but I would still suggest that you try it. Like, what have you got to lose besides maybe some stress? Try it, and then let me know how it goes, whether it worked for you or how you felt after you did it. I would love to hear your feedback, so let me know. But just remember, you are the gatekeeper of your home, meaning you are in control of what comes in and what you spend money on and how much stuff you actually keep. So if you are frustrated, if you are tired of the chaos, if you feel like you're always tripping over some things, and another side note, organizing it doesn't help. Why organize what you can get rid of? Like, organizing is just like a Band-Aid for actually getting rid of the items that you don't use, okay? So be intentional, be purposeful, think of, you know, the haven that you want your house to be. It's going to take effort, but it's totally, totally worth it. You can create more time, more space, more freedom, less stress. So make sure you follow me. I'm going to be going over this for this month. I think I'm really going to focus in my Sign Party Center group, which is a membership I have where I teach people how to start and grow a sign party business. I did that as the challenge last month, is to just take a drawer or a cabinet and just start cleaning it out. And I got so much response that I really wanted to do this because I know it's a struggle for a lot of people. So be intentional. I know you can do this, and let me know how it goes. So thanks for being here. I hope I actually went longer than I wanted, but again, it's just a passion of mine, and yeah, I hope it blesses you and serves you in one way or another. So let me know if you have questions. Have a great, great rest of your day. Make it a good one. Keep being amazing, and we will talk to you guys soon.